Hey, this is Travis New with the Random Commuter. Thanks for joining me on my way to work. Let's get going. If my cockpit here looks a little different, that's because it is. I am in a yet another car. That's one of these Chevy Silverados, something like that. This crew cab, I mean, it's enormous. Coffee. So this was the year of Star Wars. I don't know, ever since what, 1999? We've gotten a Star Wars movie every 3 years, I think. Well, at least with the prequels. And then things dried up for a bit. But now I think Star Wars movies are going to be coming out every year. So let's see here. 2 years ago we had The Force Awakens, which was awesome. We got Rogue One, and then a year after that, 2017, we get Last Jedi, which I thought was a great movie. An emotional roller coaster of expectations, and you try not to get too many expectations. You're like, the directors and the writers and Lucasfilm, Disney, everyone, they have to make a fucking movie. They can't just make a Star Wars novelization, I am trying to come to terms with what a Star Wars fan means these days. They're kind of nutty. I mean, I guess I always knew Star Wars fans were nutty. They're getting nutty after this movie. This movie's been described as very divisive. You either love it or you hate it. And people I never thought would even have an opinion about it. Like my sisters. And I guess in the last couple of years, my sister's become, well, one sister in particular has become more of a fan, I would say. It's kind of weird. My younger sister, she says, she was going to go see the movie. I was really excited to see what she thought of it. And she writes on Facebook that she thought it sucked. And I thought she was kidding. And she said she wasn't kidding. I'm like, oh, this is bullshit. I got to call you. So we got to talking about it. And she said it was too Disney-fied, which I didn't see that. Rogue One, completely different feel. And Rogue One, I loved it. I thought that movie was fantastic. But I liked, when the prequels came out, I liked them. I was happy to be getting Star Wars movies, and they all had that thing that you paid your ticket for, Episode 1 had the awesome lightsaber battle, Duel of the Fates. That fight scene alone is just worth the price of admission. I don't care if you didn't watch the rest of the movie. That fight scene's amazing. And then, all the fans are like, you have to do it this way. I want to see this person. I want to get this backstory. It's like, do you want a movie, or do you want to sit there with your action figures just going, here, let's make a fight. It has to be a movie. That's enough of Star Wars. I thought it was great. I think this was spoiler free. I didn't really go into any details. Everyone's got a review on the movie. You don't need me for this. I mean, I don't mind talking about Star Wars from time to time, but a couple of really good reviews I've seen online. I always like the Nostalgia Critic for his reviews on things. I think he's got a really good take on things. Kevin Smith, it's not objective. Is he a fanboy? Yes, and he'll even say that in his review. But he does point out things that he may have done differently, or if it was in his control, he would have done differently. Definitely check out him. That's a good one. God, there was one that was really bad, and I couldn't take it anymore. And it wasn't because they were poo-pooing the movie. It was just because it's like, what are you doing? You're just complaining. I'm not sure how much 2018 is supposed to bring. I read something this morning. 2018 was going to see the death of phone devices. No, I don't buy that one. So mark my words. I do not see 2018 being the death of handheld devices. It was supposed to be the death of handheld devices and the adoption of wearable technology. Okay, I'm excited about all that shit. I love it. And here's what I'm really excited for when it comes to wearable tech. Augmented reality. I love the idea that if I was wearing just normal glasses, that showed me perhaps turn by turn, you know, heads up. Can they be like bifocal adhesives you just kind of put onto anything? That's a tricky thing with glasses. A lot of people wearing prescription glasses. If the wearable technology is just, if it requires a separate processor to be in the vicinity, that's fine. If the processor is on the device itself, great, even better. But I do love the idea of an augmented reality where I can interact with my environment in a digital way. And I'm not talking about Pokemon Go. I'm talking about those turn-by-turn directions. If you set a reminder that this thing show you or pop up or alert that you are going to pick up flowers on the way home, it's like, oh, here's a flower shop, you're passing one, and you see it in your peripheral, it's like, oh, great. Things like that, I think, can revolutionize business. A lot of business, I think, it makes its mark or its strategy on being on main thoroughfares. So they've got big signs, flashing neon, all that stuff, say, come shop here. But if you're jacked into the matrix, or if you're subscribed on things like Yelp and What's Around Me, things like that, and those apps know your preferences, then these shops are focusing in on people who want to shop there, not necessarily people who accidentally shop there. I don't think that's the business model you want. But I do think the handheld device is going to be hanging around for a while, only because at the very least having a nearby central processing unit. There's a lot of other wearable stuff like Fitbits and things like that. Man, those are popular. I do not understand the craze of counting steps. That is a strange thing to me. I mean, this is my normal routine. I'm gonna keep track of. I mean, it's like keeping track of your heartbeats. It seems like a really strange thing to keep track of, but whatever gets you off the couch. I kind of get smartwatches, and oh my gosh, I almost walked out of the store with a smartwatch once, but I put it back, and I was like, I'm not going to use this the way I want to. And when I say that, that's a standard I've set with the same utility as I do my phone. I use my phone or my handheld device for everything. So yeah, I ask people all the time. I go up to people all the time. I'm like, what do you use your watch for? They say, well, it gives me alerts. It's really nice. Instead of having to dig my phone out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right. So I really got to thinking about that because that's what a lot of people say. I've got an eBay store. I sell used bike parts. So check it out at TN89321/eBay. User TN89321. If you need a used bike part. I get alerts for that all the time. Do I need to ship something? That's great. So that's nice. That just lets me know I've got something I need to ship. Now, am I going to use my phone to print out the label and all that? I don't think I can, but I don't know. So there's that. What about alerts when people I've subscribed to on YouTube? You know, when they have new shows. I use that a lot. It's like, oh shit, you know, they've got a new show, but I should watch it. Appointments and calendars, great, obviously. I imagine it keeps time. Can I make a video call from it? I think you can. That's very Dick Tracy, that's kind of cool. I thought I'd be making a lot more video calls than I am now, and I feel like I'm starting to do it more often, but mostly just around the holidays, because you want to include the family and stuff, so you're like, hey, FaceTime. You know. What are the holdups with vid phones? I don't know. I think for the most part, people probably look like shit, so they don't want to deal with that. Because I noticed we definitely use them a lot more in business applications. I use them all the time when I'm doing workshops and things like that. Absolutely. Conference calling, yeah. Because everyone's combed their freaking hair and put a shirt on. 90% of the time when we're not at work, we're not presentable. That's it. The future of the device. Oh, electric cars are gonna skyrocket this year. Definitely. The infrastructure is going to pick up more charging stations. I think prices will even drop a little bit, but sales are going to go through the roof. You mark my words, this video. I saw a crazy infographic. I think it was either on Bloomberg or the Wall Street Journal. After 12 years, a certain number of sales, you know, like a million cars, a million EVs were sold or something like that. And then after that, after 12 months or 13 months, a million cars were sold. And then after that, in 8 months, a million cars were sold. So, I mean, it's that rate of acceleration. I think they're just gonna go through the roof. And every major manufacturer's got one. I mean, Mitsubishi, Mercedes, BMW, Ford, Chevy, of course Tesla. Who else has got one? I mean, there's so many now, it's hard to keep track. I used to be able to keep track of them. I mean, the Chevy Volt, the Spark, and I guess I'm kind of counting hybrids in this, but every major manufacturer has got their own 100% EV, purely electric vehicle. In that respect, I don't know how Tesla will compete. I think other major manufacturers know how to make a nice car, and that was Tesla's thing. That was not only was it a performer, but everyone else knows how to make it perform now. I don't think this is secret technology. So, well, thanks so much for joining me on my morning commute. If you like that, make sure to hit that subscribe button. These new videos drop every week. It got a little bit weird around the holidays, but we're back on schedule. Also, make sure to hit like on the video, and check out, I'm gonna have quite a few links to the things I've been talking about in the description below. Check out some of these guys, Isaac Arthur, and of course my eBay website, my LinkedIn, Travis Neal on LinkedIn. And yeah, and then I will see you next time.